there, it's Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder, here with this week's episode of the Tuesday Brews Day. Well, sort of. We're just going to be opening up a pre-release pack from the Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate. Instead of doing a brew, a little bit about that. I've still not been in the mood really to be brewing in Standard. New Capenna has some cool stuff, but I don't know. I just really not liked Standard for the past years. And that's why this channel's kind of died, because this channel started as me brewing decks, mainly in Standard, doing budget decks, doing modern decks, and whatnot, but I haven't really liked Magic as a constructed format for a long time. Now, I would admit that Standard of today is so much better than Throne of Eldraine and Theros Standard. It is just night and day. I think it's much, much better. There's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of decision-making, but still, I have not been the biggest fan of this. A lot of the cards they've pushed, it feels like you have to play certain cards or certain strategies, and the matchups feel brutal. A lot of times you can sit down and know that you just have just a very lopsided matchup versus a particular deck, and instead of kind of that tit-for-tat Magic, you just know that, you know, oh, well, this can be a way uphill battle. I know Magic's always been that way. I'm not going to say that it used to be better or look back at rose-colored goggles. Maybe I've just changed as a person and just don't like constructed Magic the way that I used to. So I hope people stick with me, because I still want to create some good content for Magic the Gathering, and I still love Limited. I think that I've done a complete swap where Limited environments were pretty bad for years, like Khans of Tarkir. That whole time period, Limited was just nothing to write home to mom about. It just had some really, really awkward, terrible Limited formats. And now we've been spoiled with Limited. I love New Capenna. I loved Kamigawa. I loved Forgotten Realms. I think both the Innistrad sets were fine. I've really, really enjoyed Limited. So kudos to where kudos are deserved for the Wizards design team for Limited. Constructed, however, it has problems. I really hate the treasure mechanic. I think treasure's just messed up all of the constructed formats. When you slap on a Lotus Petal to every card, it just warps how Magic was designed or how it was balanced, whereas a lot of 4s and 5 drops are so much more powerful now when you can rely on treasures coming out and ramping them out. So I don't know, I just need to do an entire ramp video one of these years, one of these days, about how much I hate treasures and how much I think they've ruined constructed. Now, I do think the treasures are fine. I actually like treasures in Limited, as they help you fix and they help you play more interesting games without getting mana screwed as much. But constructed is just a whole different ballgame where you can just use and abuse treasures like crazy. And like I said, the curve and the color pie are just absolutely screwed up because of treasures, in my opinion. Anyway, video for another day. Let's get on to the pre-release pack for Battle for Baldur's Gate and see what we do. I don't know, how do we play this? I believe that it's just a draft format. Don't know why they come with pre-release kits, but you get this nifty little pre-release box here. And see if I can figure out how to open it up. It just folds out like this. So I'm not sure even what you can do with these things. Is that where your commander's supposed to go? I have not a clue. Anyway, there's the waste product here. So unfortunately, it's just a plain Jane dice. I wish they'd kind of switch these up every now and again, like they would, like Dragons of Tarkir and whatnot, because, you know, a store like mine has bazillions of these, and these are going to be okay. So these aren't spin downs, though, at least. So at least that has that going for it. And you get a code here. Yeah, go ahead and show this code for whoever wants to use that code in the future. I'm not sure what it will give on Arena. I guess they're actually doing about Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gates boosters. So there you have it for someone redeeming that code. And then we have, yeah, that's like a divider. And then you're going to get 3 packs. So I guess you get to see what your promo is. Isn't this how it plays? This is going to be a fastest caller, which is absolutely phenomenal for a card in Limited. I'm not as good in, it's super good in constructed or 1 versus 1 formats, but in a commander format, it might not be as good, but it's going to really deter your opponents from ever attacking into you. And there's a lot of goading into this in this format too, so fastest caller is going to be really good to chuck on a creature, and then all of your 1/1s then can kill anything that gets goaded against you. So Bassus Caller, great card. There's a lot of combos with the Sucker in Modern and in Commander, so it's going to be a card I think that'll age well. I need to do a review on these, by the way. These are the new hard perfect fits from Gamegenic. So actually, whoa, they're too tight. Nah, I don't like them. Never mind, I do not like them. They're way too tight. Way too tight. So let's get this guy in just a sleeve for now. And I believe this is just a draft format, so it just gives you the 3 packs you draft with. So 3 draft boosters. And I'll kind of like show you my pack one, pick one, because the strategy's really changed for a commander format. This is going to be played in pods of 4, I believe. So you're going to draft in 8s, but then split off in pods of 4. You get the Undercity here. And then The gates I think are definitely first pickable, as they're going to help you fix, and this one's pretty good because you can actually create some treasure tokens. I guess you have to tap another gate to create a treasure token, so that one's probably not first pickable. Charcoal Diamond's ramp is always good. We have the Black Dragon Gate, which enters the battlefield, choose a color. And then we have the Hoarding Dragon, or Hoarding Ogre, which is a reprint, I believe, from AFR, right? Yes, this one was. We have the Grace Lod. Mill 4 cards as long as there are 4 or more cards in a creature in your graveyard. It has Menace and Death Touch. So you can mill 4 cards. So you mill from your own, and then then it can get a 4/1 Death Toucher. So I mean, it's a nice little adventure card. Enters the battlefield, draw a card for a 2/2 Elf Scout. We have the Basilisk Gate to go with our Basilisk Collar. Target creature is +X/+X, where X is the number of gates. So you can see gates is a huge thing in this format. Nimbleclaw Adept, untap 2 other target permanents, activate only as a sorcery and only once per turn. So other permanents. So this is actually pretty good for lands to untap. So it can ramp you into some big stuff. You've been caught stealing. Each creature blocks this turn if able. Sorcery speed though. You create a treasure token for each opponent who was dealt damage this turn. For 2. I don't know how well that one's going to work. All creatures target player control get -2, -2 for the Arms of Hadar. Your temple is under attack. Creatures you control gain, and anyone else have the Starcraft. Whenever I hear your town of Warcraft, our town is under attack. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and you and target opponent each draw 2 cards as strike a deal. So indestructible is pretty good though. That's actually a very, very good card in this format. The Cloakwood Swarmkeeper. Whenever 1 or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on this Swarmkeeper. Not bad. Triggers per time, not if multiple enter. We have the Sea Hag, which gives 2 creatures +1/+0 and can't be blocked for 3. And then when it enters the battlefield, creatures opponent control get -4/-0 until end of turn. So we got a Swift of Boots. I think that right here, this is definitely a pack 1 pick 1 playable card. The Swift Boots just makes all of your creatures super resilient to removal and have haste, which is really good. So I'm going to definitely set that one aside. Cut a deal, each opponent draws, and it's super flexible too. Cut a deal, each opponent draws a card, then you draw a card for each opponent who drew a card this way. So in this format, you're going to draw 3 and everyone else is draw 1. Definitely not a bad card either for card advantage. Another Gate. And we have Lulu, Loyal Hollyphant. At the beginning of the end step, if the permanent you control left the battlefield, put +1 counter on each tap creature you control, then untap them. Not a bad card as a commander for sure, because in this flicker type bounce, which is a strategy in this format, there is a lot of ways to abuse this. So I think that this one, I wouldn't pick it over like pack 1 pick 1. Super boost is gonna be very hard. You're gonna have to get like a really bomby card because it's just so flexible and open. And then we have the Candlekeep Sage. I don't believe you do you draft 2 at a time in this one? I don't think you do, like you did the last one. I'll have to look. I haven't even read into this stupid thing. We have the Candlekeep Sage. Commander creatures you own have when this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Not a bad card either with the background. Makes all your commander give you a lot more value. And we have the Jaheira's Respite, search your library for X basic land cards where X the number of creatures attacking you. Put those cards on the battlefield tabbed and prevent all combat damage. So it's a fog and a ramp, but it's kind of weird. At 5 at that point, do you really need to have a bazillion mana? This isn't Commander in the traditional sense in Commander of when you play it in your regular constructed format. You don't know if you're going to be able to utilize that much mana. If you have a card that can, like if you have cards that have mana dumps, which I think this is what makes these type of cards good, then yeah, this is definitely much better, but it's definitely not pack 1 pick 1 a bull. And we did get a foil in this one with the Horn of Valhalla, which has the sorcery speed, create X/1/1 soldier creature tokens, and then equip creatures get +1/+1 for each creature. So you kind of get your 2-for-1er here. You get equipment that sticks around, plus you get a way to generate tokens. But in my opinion, I'd take the Swiftfoot Boots. It's just so flexible, protects your commander. It is exactly what we want to be doing most of the time, and it's hard to pass it up. You don't know if you're going to be white. You don't know what you're going to be in. It leaves you wide open. The Swift Boots would definitely be the pick in this one. Some other ones, of course, after that, I think the Horn of Valhalla is very powerful. The same thing with just a 3/2 commander that actually can have a flicker type thing is pretty good. And surprisingly enough, in Commander, the Hoarding Ogre is a lot better than you think because it's able to attack an open player and also ramp you up. So kind of like that one too. But all in all, it's not too exciting. I couldn't even... Charcoal Diamonds, I think you can pick up quite quick too. Another pack. So we have Cloak of the Bat, which a creature has flying and haste. That's actually not bad either with the equipment. Flying and haste for 2 and 2. Not bad at all. A navigation orb. Sacrifice it. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards and or gates. Reveal those cards and put them on the battlefield tapped. So this is going to be a powerhouse in Commander, I think. So this is like a Burnished Heart. It's not as easy to reanimate it with reanimation spells or getting back creatures, but artifacts too. It's not a Burnished Heart that can just be killed before you have the time to sack it either. So yeah, this is definitely a great card. We have another Black Dragon Gate. Another Colossal Badger, which 2-star creature, mill 4 cards, and put a +1 counter for each creature milled this way. And then enters the battlefield, gain 3 life. Nothing too snazzy there. Another Gate. The Carnelian Orb of Dragonkind, which adds mana, and if it's meant towards dragons, they gain haste. Why can't it be dinosaurs so I can give good old Tally haste? We have the Miracles Invoker. Creatures you can control +2/+1 menace until end of turn for 8. Pretty filler. We have the Goliath Paladin. Enters the battlefield, you take the initiative, which is venturing into the Undercity. Sylvanas Invoker. Untap target land. It comes in 8/8 with trample. So there's some mana dumps for sure in this format. We have the Dream Fracture, which is a reprint. Counter target spell. As controller draws a card, and you draw a card. We have his Shiny Impetus. Enchanted creature is +2/+2 and is goaded. And whenever enchanted creature attacks, you create a treasure token. So you at least get some sort of value out of it. We also have the Zentarium Bandit. When it attacks, you may pay 1 life to create a treasure token. I actually really like this card. There'll usually be an opponent open on turn 2, turn 3 when you start attacking in, and you can start ramping up with it. We have the Astral Confrontation. So this spell costs 1 less for each creature, 1 less for each opponent you're attacking. Exile target creature. So instant speed removal, can't go wrong with that. We also have the Imion Mystic Trickster. We have Ward 2 at the beginning of your end step. If you have the initiative, draw a card. Draw another card if you've completed a dungeon. And then choose a background. So you can then go and you can have a background as your second commander. So this one does allow you to have a background. So fun. Mystery Key. When equipped creature deals combat damage to player, sacrifice Mystery Key. If you do, draw 3 cards. Kind of awkward draw, but it means at that point was 3 mana to draw 3, and someone should be open. The Sigil of Merkel. At the beginning of combat on your turn, mill a card when you do. If there are 4 more cards, creature cards in your graveyard, put +1 counter on target creature control and against Death Touch. It's okay. It's a little slow, clunky, 3 mana. I don't know. We have our rare here, or at least in the showcase, is Ball Lord of Murder. As long as your life total is less than equal to half your starting life total, it has indestructible. And whatever non-token creature you control dies, put a +1 counter on target creature and goad it. So yeah, so you can keep goading. Well, no, goad means it has to attack other people. We have the Agent of the Shadow Thieves. Background, commander creatures you own have. When this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, put a +1 counter and against Death Touch indestructible. We have the Wand of Wonder, another rare in here. Roll a d20. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant sorcery card, then shuffles the rest. You may cast up to X instant sorcery spells from among cards exiled without paying their mana cost. It's actually pretty good. Roll a d20. So if X is if 1 to 9, X is 1, X is 2. There's probably a lot of stuff. This is definitely pickable, first pickable. This is actually pretty good. This is a balmy rare, I would say, because people are going to be chucking in some high cost instants and sorceries. Yeah, and it guarantees it. So exiles cards from the top of the library until they exile an instant search card. So you can't whiff with it. You're at least going to be doing 1, and it could easily be 2 or 3. So this sucker's going to get tons of value. This is a very, very good card. Actually, I like this just in Commander as a whole. You can hit some really, really powerful stuff. And we have another Roving Harper and a Sapperling token. All right, so last but not least, we have the Trailblazer Torch. Get the initiative when it enters the battlefield, and whenever a creature becomes blocked, deals 2 damage to each creature blocking it, and has equipped 1. And you got the good old Evolving Wilds. They should have printed something that goes and gets a gate. That's kind of a misstep in my opinion. Search your library for a basic land or a gate and put it on the battlefield tapped. I don't know, maybe that'd be too powerful. We have the Guardian Naga, a 5/6 exile target artifact or enchantment for 3, and then it has Vigilance 5/6, and as long as it's short-term preventable damage, will be dealt to the Guardian Naga. Okay, and this is actually kind of cool that it has Vigilance because goad. At least you can have a blocker. I'm thinking that's how a lot of these games are going to go, is like a lot of like shifts where everything is goaded and then someone's open, then you can finish them off. The Ambitious Dragonborn enters the battlefield with X+1 counters where X is the greatest power among creatures you control and creature cards in your graveyard. Okay, so it's the biggest thing in either in your graveyard or on the battlefield. We have the Tamora's Invoker. Draw 2 cards with 8 mana. We have the Javelin of Lightning. Enters the battlefield, attach to target creature you control. As long as it's your turn, equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has first strike. We have the Merkel's Edict. 1 through 9, player sacrifices a creature. 10 through 19, each opponent sacrifices a creature. And 20, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power. You're confronted by robbers. You can either tap up to 3 target creatures for 4 mana. The problem is this is going to be a headache for judges. I hate this in Commander when people so no one ever announces they're going to combat, and then when they do, and then they say, I'm attacking you, that's when people try to play this. If they've already announced their combat, and they've already decided to attack you, you cannot tap them down after they've made that decision. So don't try to do that. You need to make the decision before they enter or before they declare their attackers. So then we also have the create 3/1/1 soldier creature tokens, which isn't bad for 4 mana to create 3 soldier tokens. So the second side is just really, really strong. We have the Dread Linorm. We have 7 mana for a 7/6, which can't be blocked with creatures with power of 3 or less, or the adventure side puts 2 +1 counters on target creature, untap it, and gains hexproof. So that's actually pretty good to protect your commander, and you can get an upside to it. We have the Pseudo Dragon Familiar. Can give something flying for 3 mana. We have the Fang Dragon, 6/3 flying, and it deals 1 damage each creature you don't control. There's the way to get rid of those soldier tokens. We have this Sturge, can't block, and you can pay 1 life to draw and sacrifice to draw a card for a 1 mana. Not bad. With Dawnbreaker Cleric reprint, pretty good card. We have the Noble's Purse, enters the battlefield tapped with 3 coin counters. Remove a coin counter to create a treasure token. So you can create a lot of treasure tokens with the Noble's Purse. Not bad. Enters tapped, though. It's kind of slow. The Sharpshooter Elf. Elf's power is number of creatures you control. It has reach. Enters the battlefield, deals damage equal to target creature with flying opponent controls. We have the Null Warband, which is a 5/5 with Myriad. So whenever it attacks, you create a copy of it. And the spell costs 1 less for each creature and for each opponent who has dealt damage this turn. So this one can get out pretty quick if you spread wide, and then the Myriad can really take over the game too. We have Adrian, Gorian's Ward. 4/4, and enters the battlefield, exile any number of non-land permanents you control until it leaves the battlefield. Create a 1/1 soldier creature token for each permanent exiled this way. Kind of cool. Really cool flicker effect with this sucker, if you can start flickering him. As anything gets value, because you're flickering the stuff that is on your battlefield too. So yeah, pretty cool. This is a really, really cool card. I like the design of it. The Tavern Brawler, commander creatures you own have at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. This creature is +X/+0, X that card's mana value. That's a good way to Voltron people down, I guess. And we have Battle Angels of Tyr. So, this is a 4 mana mythic, flying Myriad, 4/4. Whenever Battle of Angel of Tyr deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. If that player has more cards in hand than each other player, then you create a treasure token. If that player has more lands than another player, then you gain 3 life. No. Then that creature, you create a treasure token if that player has more lands. Alright, read this again. Okay. When it deals combat damage to player, draw a card. If that player has more, if they have more cards, you draw a card. If they have more lands, you create a treasure token. If they have more life, you get life. Cool. And a foil Thief's Tool. Kind of sweet. Got some cool cards in there for sure. This is going to be a wonky format, though. I can already see it's going to be kind of weird, stalematey, and that's where the goad comes in. And so, wow, it's going to be a lot of feel-bad scenarios for sure when people feel like they're getting dogpiled just on turn order is going to matter a lot in this one. It depends on who you're sitting to left and right, whether, the goading really affects you most. So it's like the person that gets the ball rolling first. If you don't want to be the next person because all your stuff is going to be tapped and then you're going to be open. And that was very similar to some other formats I've played with Commander. Because we do a thing called Commander League here, where we open up usually a whole set booster box and build a Commander deck out of it. And you're playing with a lot worse cards than you normally would. And there's a lot of times where board states get stalled, and it turns in this weird aggro, like someone has a card like a sleep, where all target opponents creatures get tapped down, and then that person gets dogpiled on, and it creates kind of a feel bad scenario. But it's like one of the only ways you can actually kind of move the chain and make it so that you can actually finish the game. And I'm foreseeing this format as well to kind of work that way, where the goading is going to start happening, and then someone's going to be left open, and they're going to get kind of picked off. But it should make for a very interesting format. I'm not the biggest fan of playing Commander as format as it is now. I think the power level Commanders has been pushed so much, but I do like it as just an experience with, like I said, with these Commander leagues and Commander Legends Battle Baldur Gate should have some fun drafts or some fun ways to play it in a limited type environment. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing an entire set booster box opening over the Rogue Market channel to see what the value of a set booster box is, to see if it's, worth it or not. And yeah, we'll get to going on that. This has been Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.